Welcome to Bhagavadgita. Thank you for your time, your association, your interest, your blessings. You could all be watching the latest cricket match or Hollywood videos or Bollywood videos, but you're hanging out with me. Thank you and congratulations. The goal of this video is to defend Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other Vedic literature from the onslaught of misguided scientists. Specifically, the reason why some scientists and some people who are acquainted with science get put off by Bhagavad Gita is the purported illogicalness of the book. Bhagavad Gita or broadly religion, and I guess it should also apply to Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, etc. But I'll mostly stick to the Hindu viewpoint. Firstly, one must recognize that this concept of lying is traditionally not there in Hindu culture. Let me clarify that statement. Yes, there are people today, even in the Hinduism, big Hindu religious people who actually lie in the name of God, and they do all kinds of atrocious things like exploiting women, exploiting people for their money. They speak something outside, and they speak something internally in their heart, and they speak something else when they're in private. Yes, there's a lot of nonsense going around, but I'm talking about the underlying core, the core philosophy. And my scriptural basis is for this statement is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, second sloka. This knowledge is meant for people who are fully pure in heart. Dharma projita kaito atra parmo nirmasram satam. Vedyam vastam atra sevadam tapatre unmolanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamani Krute Kimva Paririshra Sajjo Hudi Avrudite Kritibis Chushvish Satshanat. So the key word here is Nirmatsaranam Satam. This material, Srimad Bhagavatam, and by extension Bhagavad Gita, is meant for the people who are fully pure in the heart. That is the intent of the author. The intent of the author is to attract the people who are fully pure in heart. If that is the intent of the author, presumably he will only attract the people who are fully pure in the heart. So, concept of lying is non-existent if you are sufficiently pure, and if you are looking at sufficiently pure texts like Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So, concept of lying is not there. Let's talk a little bit about physics. Physics can be broadly classified into three branches. There are a lot of branches, but Newtonian physics. Then the later Einstein, etc., figured out that Newtonian physics is not sufficient, and he started coming up with theory of relativity. And then later people like Schrodinger figured out that theory of relativity is not sufficient, and they came up with quantum mechanics. And these days we figure out that quantum mechanics is not sufficient. Specifically, quantum mechanics does not explain how the universe came about. So we are trying new versions of it like string theory, etc. You see, sometimes you have to switch off your logic in science. You have to have at some level some amount of blind faith in science for you to understand science. Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. People don't believe that he lifted Govardhan Hill because it's not in regular realm of what we are used to. That skepticism is understandable, but at the same time we should recognize that some parts of Einstein's theory of relativity are almost illogical. They are actually illogical, and it's very simple. You take a bus which is moving at 20 kilometers per hour from east to west. If you throw a ball at 10 kilometers per hour in the direction of the bus, the net velocity of the ball is going to be 30 kilometers per hour. And if you throw it against the direction of the bus, the speed of the ball is going to be 10 kilometers per hour. 20 plus 10 is 30. So if you're throwing it in the direction of the travel of the bus, it's 30 kilometers per hour, the ball. And if you're throwing against, it's 20 minus 10, which is 10 kilometers per hour. Now, from the reference frame, sorry, this is a little bit technical. From the reference frame of the bus, the ball has the same speed, 10 kilometers per hour. Of course, different directions. But from the reference frame of Earth, the speed of the ball is different. If you think about it, one of the key principles of Einstein's theory of relativity is speed of light is constant in all reference frames. And there is a lot of speculation or science about whether light is a wave or a particle. There is wave particle duality, etc. But one of the key constructs or axioms of Einstein's theory of relativity is speed of light is same in all reference frames. If you look at the ball example, the ball is clearly not the same, is clearly not at the same velocity in all reference frames, but somehow with speed of light we are forced to raise our level of belief to say speed of light is same in all reference frames. It's illogical, but making that assumption solves all helps you come up with predictions which were not possible otherwise, and these predictions have been measured. That is the reason why we raised our level of thinking in science to say speed of light is constant 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. It's a constant c in all reference frames. So my point is, in science we had Newtonian mechanics, and then some stuff was not getting explained. We came up with some kind of black magic saying speed of light is same in all reference frames, and now it is accepted that speed of light is same in all reference frames, and there is no logical meaning which is presented. And then when the scientists started discovering that theory of relativity has its own problems, then they came up with quantum mechanics. Now if you think of it, a cat, I am either alive or I am dead. A cat is either alive or it's dead. But if you come into quantum mechanics with the Schrodinger's cat paradox, you are forced to believe that a cat is both dead and alive at the same time. It's seemingly illogical, but it all makes sense in its own way. Similarly, Bhagavadgita is seemingly illogical, but it makes sense in its own way. This is the principle enunciated in Bhagavadgita, 9th chapter, 2nd sloka. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksham Avagamam Dharmyam Sushukum Kartum Avyayam. The key word here is Pratyaksham Avagamam Dharmyam. You will have a direct experience. You can measure these things directly. In science, we want to measure everything with our senses. In Bhagavad Gita, we measure things, number one, via our senses, but also via our mind. Pratyaksham Avagamam Dharmyam. Actually, there are a lot of incongruities in science which people haven't resolved. For instance, the Einstein-Rosen paradox. So, Einstein almost never believed in quantum mechanics his whole life, and his criticism of quantum mechanics was things could change state in quantum mechanics over arbitrarily large distances like miles and millions of miles and billions of miles, and that is illogical. Unfortunately, our modern scientists are creeping this illogicality under the carpet, saying, oh, we are making more progress in science and science is ever expanding. It's nice that knowledge is ever expanding, it's very nice, but in the process we are also losing sight of the big picture, what it all means, and we are nowhere closer to the ultimate reality. And these kind of theories are being actively used to to discredit books like Bhagavadgita, and in the process, the Bhagavad is a book which can bring peace to the whole world, and the loser is Mother Earth, because world peace is missing in the world. We have all these big televisions, we have big technology, but we don't have discipline. In contrast, my grandmother had only 2 saris in the 1960s and 1970s. She had only 2 saris to wear, but she had culture which she had given me, and I presume that your grandparents have given you a nice culture too. So the point is, our modern civilization is using science as the answer for all these things when they don't have all the answers, and in the process we are losing our human discipline. We are saying that we have nice technology, we don't need to be disciplined anywhere, and the net result is we are trashing the planet with lots of pollution. We are exploiting Mother Earth like anything, and human civilization will pay for this very dearly. Anyway, I can talk a lot about the incongruities between in physics, logical contradictions, and it's nice that they are trying to fix this, but it's no mean task. Meanwhile, you can verify the principles of Bhagavad Gita for yourself. Please don't believe what I am saying, instead verify. The way you verify is you read Bhagavad Gita every day for 10 minutes, and you will see that it will raise your level of thinking. By the way, if you want to read about theory of relativity, you should read the book by Wheeler, who explains theory of relativity very beautifully. He does it in 4 or 5 chapters. So please read the book. He's the MIT professor, Wheeler. You like doing it. Raise your level of thinking, do yoga, do meditation, chant Vedic mantras. They are very powerful. I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The happiness you get from chanting these mantras, you won't get anywhere else. Thank you. Hare Krishna.